boys and girls. Welcome to another 5-Minute Stories. Can you guess who I am? Well, I'm Miss Ashley from the Port Charlotte Public Library, but can you guess who I'm wearing? It's Rudolph! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Now, of course, we're going to sing that song together, but first I wanted to tell you the story behind Rudolph. Oh, I know we know it, but it's so much fun to tell. It goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a little reindeer named Rudolph, and he was very special because he was born with a little red nose that shone so brightly, brighter than any Christmas light on any Christmas tree, brighter than even the stars in the sky, so bright. And his mama always told him, "Oh, Rudolph, you are so special, you're bound to do something wonderful one day." But unfortunately, because Rudolph was so different from the other reindeer and they didn't understand him, they made fun of him. All the other little reindeer would not include him in their games. They wouldn't play with him, and they made fun of him and called him names. Oh, it wasn't very nice at all. Whenever we have friends that make fun of us, we feel bad, don't we? And we should celebrate our differences instead. But Rudolph, he was so young, he was so little, he didn't know. So he felt bad, and he tried to hide his nose. He used to dig into the soil, and he used to use his hooves to fashion a new nose for himself and plunk it on his old nose, on his red nose. And he would have to talk like this because he could barely breathe through his nose. And he'd say, "Hi, I'm Rudolph, and I'm a normal reindeer. I don't have a red nose. I have a black nose, like all the other reindeer. See, it doesn't glow at all." But Rudolph wasn't being true to himself, and I'm pretty sure that thing was very uncomfortable. Well, as he grew up, his mom kept telling him, "Don't worry, Rudolph, you're special in your own way." And then one night, he got to prove just how special and useful his nose could be. That night was Christmas Eve, and Santa Claus was getting his sleigh ready and all of his reindeer ready to travel the world to deliver presents to all the good little boys and the good little girls. But he realized that it was so foggy, there was such a heavy mist all over the sky that his reindeer couldn't see so that they could fly. They might crash into a mountain, and they didn't want to lose all of those presents, right? So he thought, what could I do? And then one of the elves who knew Rudolph very well and liked him told Santa of Rudolph and said, "Oh, Santa, there's a special reindeer that was just born a couple years ago, and he has a bright red nose, brighter than even the stars in the sky. I bet he could light your way." And so Santa didn't care anything about how different Rudolph's nose was. He went right to Rudolph's home. He knocked on the door politely, and he said, "Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" And Rudolph couldn't wait to prove himself, and he ran all the way to the front of the reindeer, right up next to Dasher. He was hooked on with his jingle bells, and he stuck his nose out bright, and sure enough, he brightened the way, and all of the reindeer could fly through the sky, and they were able to fly all the way around the world to deliver the presents to the good little girls and boys in record time. And from that moment on, Rudolph did go down in history as the reindeer who helped Santa Claus drive his sleigh through the fog. And from then on, he was the youngest reindeer, and he was right at the front, guiding the way and lighting the path. Isn't that such a cute story? And that's why we read about him, we sing about him, and we watch movies and play games about him every Christmas season. All right, everybody. Well, I told you the story of Rudolph. I'm wearing Rudolph. I think we should sing Rudolph, but we need some help for that. Let me call Guitar Joe. Oh, Guitar Joe!
Hi, kids.
Welcome. Well, can you guess what song we're singing today?
Well, it looks like you're dressed up as a deer of some sort with a red nose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes, you got it.
I got it. Well, they had other deer there as well, with different names.
Yes. Can you remember them all?
I'll try.
All right.
It's the hardest part. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen, But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows
like a light bulb.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names,
like Pinocchio.
They never let poor
Rudolph
join in any reindeer games,
like Monopoly.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Ho, ho, ho!
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. All
Like
right,
George Washington.
dance, Rudolph.
How do reindeer dance?
I don't know. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Ho, ho, ho!
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight?
Okay.
Then all the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Like George Washington.
You'll go down in history.
Like Abraham Lincoln.
You'll go down in history.
Yay!
Merry Christmas, kids.
Happy holidays!
Yay! We'll see you next time.
And happy reading.
Always read. It's good for you.
Bye-bye.